So in this video we'll be going over CNC variables that are part of your myCNC application profile and how you can edit them and set up the maximum and the minimum values for them. We'll also be going over some global variables and how those work. So if you navigate to your profile folder, and in this example I will be using the X1366M profile, within this folder you can find the CNC-variables.xml file, which you can open in your text editor of choice. Alternatively, what you can do is you can head into the settings, your configuration dialogs, go into advanced, and then go into profile. Within the profile tab you will find the CNC variables.xml file, and you can open that through there. Within the CNC variables.xml file, regardless of whether you're opening it through the application or through an external text editing program like I'm doing right now, you can find references to all of your settings, such as all your current states, whether some flags have been set in your software, the values for global variables, and much more. And for global variables, as you can see here, you can find those on our documentation wiki. If you go to docs.pvautomation.com, myCNC global variables, you will see a full list containing all of the variables that we have implemented, their name, and their short description. So now, if we go back to the main CNC variables file, which contains a list of those global variables, in addition to having a number of other things, such as, again, our current states, our current flags, and much more, we can see that certain variables have a min and a max field to them. And what that does is effectively sets an upper and a lower bound for a variable which it cannot cross. We can edit this variable from within the myCNC application should it be displayed on the screen. For example, when changing the acceleration values for our motion, which is done from the user settings within the myCNC software, you have an upper and a lower bound for your values within which the acceleration is realistic. It is important to note here that these values are typically not changed on a day-to-day basis by the operator, but rather are a property of the machine. The acceleration itself may change, but the upper and lower bounds will stay the same typically. So there is no real need to display these bounds within the user settings. However, you can still check for the min and the max values within the CNC variables XML file. If we go back to the CNC variables XML file and search for our acceleration, we can indeed see that here we have acceleration values that can range from 1 to 20,000. Now, for things like our acceleration and a lot of other values, it is not necessary that you go into the CNC variables file and edit it by hand. Instead, what you would typically do is you would go into our settings, our configuration tab, and in case of our acceleration values, you would go into motion and then find the acceleration for XY and acceleration for the Z axis, where you could edit your current value and your current range. However, it is important to remember that the CNC variables XML file still contains all of these values and all of this information. So if you're moving to a new computer, or if you want to update your profile, it would be a good idea to store your CNC variables file somewhere or to keep a backup so that your settings aren't lost. Thank you for watching. Visit our online documentation at docs-pvautomation for more information about our CNC variables, global variables, and all information pertaining to the myCNC application.